Hey there, canning is a fun hobby and a great way to preserve food. If you're just starting out, it can feel a little bit intimidating, but water bath canning is the easiest way to get started. Today, we're going to take a look at some of the equipment that's associated with water bath canning, and we'll go through an A to Z guide on how to complete the entire process. Let's get started. Today we're going to be using a water bath canner. You can really use any pot that holds a decent amount of water though. We have some racks that can be set on top of the different layers of jars to keep them from resting directly on top of each other. We have a funnel, a ladle, a jar lifter, a lid lifter, a measuring tool for headspace, bands, lids, a bowl to place the lids in after we've washed them with hot soapy water, and then we'll just pour some boiling water in there so they can set before we place them onto the jars. We also have some distilled white vinegar that we're going to pour onto a paper towel to clean the top of the jars. We have jars, and keep in mind that the size of the jars is going to vary based on what it is that you're canning, along with the quantity of jars. For this recipe, we're not going to exceed 10 minutes of processing time in the water bath canner, so we do need to sterilize these. And in order to sterilize these, I'm going to fill the water bath canner with water. Then we'll place the jars in there, bring it to a boil, and let the jars boil in there for 10 minutes. After the jars have been sterilized, it's time to fill them. According to this recipe, we are keeping a 1/4 inch of headspace available in each jar. The headspace tool can also be used to remove bubbles from the jars. You can dip it into the jar, move it around, kind of run it along the edges, and that will help to release any air that may be trapped inside. Wipe the rims with a paper towel that has been dipped in distilled vinegar. This will help to remove any food that's sitting on top of the jar that could keep the lid from sealing properly. Using the lid lifter to remove the lids from the hot water, center the lids on the jars and screw the bands on. Gently place the jars into the canner, separating each layer with a rack. Boil for 10 minutes, keeping in mind that the cooking time will vary based on what it is you're canning and the size of the jars. Remove the jars with the jar lifter and let them rest for approximately 12 to 24 hours or until completely cooled. Label with a permanent marker, making sure to include the date and the name of what it is that you've canned. Finally, store in a cool, dark place for up to 1 year. I hope you enjoyed this. If you're interested in learning more about canning, please check out our other videos, and we'll see you again soon.